because I know that's where this goes out to everybody in the world, everybody on this planet. This is Trooper Joe with ArchAngel, A Return to Chivalry. Yeah, that was just a little bit of James Brown. I feel good. We like to start the show with that for several reasons. James Brown always felt good. He could move a little bit, used to anyway. And he was a very entertaining young man. But I like to give a shout out to a very special friend of mine. Her name is Bator, and she's the owner and operator of Basil and Spice, located at 299 Shrewsbury Street. In the order of some of her food, she has a she has a Thai food restaurant. She does catering. She specializes in a lunchbox type of catering that she does. She does quick lunches. And last year, 2015, Basil and Spice, in its first year, won Best Food on Shrewsbury Street for 2015. I want to give her a shout out for that, and she's trying to do that again. And it's only been 1 year since it's been open. It was opened on June 17, 2015, so she's coming up on an anniversary. And ArchAngel's going to be going down there to film her, and this will be on the Mass Appeal Radio Facebook. That's what it's going to be on?
In the website.
Mass Appeal Radio, Facebook, and website. And you can also see it on the Voice for the Voiceless on their website. We're going to be doing that next week. So everybody look forward to seeing the information about Basil and Spice, and get yourselves over to 299 Shrewsbury Street. Get you some good Thai food. This Thai food is so good you never go home. You just live there. Just, have Bator cooking all the time and just living there. Or you can get a takeout order if you want to call it 774-317-9986. 774-317-9986. I know everybody's copy's right, so get over there to Basil and Spice. All right, now we're going to talking about some other things besides some good Thailand food. We're going to talk about marriage and sex and all kinds of things that go along with that. I read a few interesting type of articles over the weekend and stuff, and they really interested me. I was like, ooh, they generated a lot of questions. One I read in the New York Times was, we marry the wrong people. And I came up with 5 reasons on my own why this is true, why we marry the wrong people. One, because we see people normally as those who don't know us. That's how people see us. They see us, but they don't know us. And we see them, but we don't know them. So we see all those things in them that we want them to see in us. So now you think you have a connection with this person, but you really don't know this person. So this is one of the reasons why we make the wrong choices when we get married. You might see somebody and you figure, oh, isn't she lovely? And the next thing you know, it's like, yes, she's still lovely, but you figure, oh, she's so lovely. She must really like hiking. Oh, yeah, she likes jumping out of airplanes and all these things like that. But she had no desires to hike, no desires to jump out of airplanes or any of these things, So that's how we see people like that. And then 2, we try to understand, 2 and 1 kind of go together, because we try to understand our partners, but this is difficult when we are working so hard to mask who we really are, even to someone we claim to love. You got your wife and you got the girl, or you got the girlfriend. We won't go as far as the wife on something like this. But you're always trying to put on your different hat. See, today I got on my nice cowboy hat because that's who I am. I'm Trooper Joe. That's a cowboy. You see, troopers were the first African-American military personnel. They were colored soldier troops, and I'm a trooper. Trooper Joe. So I wear my cowboy hat. So I'm busy trying to project the image of me being a cowboy. Well, actually, I'm just a CEO, entrepreneur, regular, everyday, conservative type of person like that. Got nothing to do with being a cowboy. The only Mustang I drive might be a 1966. I can get one. That's about it. I'm not getting on no stinking horse. But I'm not going to project that image when you got you first meet someone, you want to show all these good traits that you've been working on in your fantasies and stuff. So that's why we don't understand our partner, because we're so busy trying to put on some different kind of front to who we are. Yeah, that's just crazy, but we do it anyway. Yeah. And then number 3, we always want to justify why someone else is wrong, and it's not our fault. This is when you're in a deep relationship. You know, the one of the things you want to do, well, how come you didn't change the baby? You're supposed to change the baby. It was your turn to change the baby. It wasn't my turn to change the baby. Okay, can you go pick me up a glass of milk at the store? No, I can't pick you up any milk at the store. Oh, we got a text coming, you know. Might be Chantel saying something's not working. Oh, that's Will. Yeah, so we justify all these things about ourselves so we'll never be wrong. Oh yeah, you just don't love me no more because you always finding fault with me, or you're always doing this, you're always doing that. Yeah, you're the one who causes all this to happen. And all the time it's because you still trying to fit into your cowboy hat. You ain't going to make it, you see, because you still trying to put that image out of who you want people to see you to be, but it's not you who you really are. So that's a very important one for all you people that are married out there, or love your girlfriend or boyfriend or whoever it is. Stop trying to justify something that goes wrong. If you did it, take it, eat it. That's the chivalrous thing to do. That's what chivalry is all about. You can stand up and be strong and tall, and take account of your imperfections. You know. Now, number 4, which with the increased amount of racial marriages, and we're going to be talking about racial marriages later on, and racially mixed kids, we're going to be talking about that because this is very important. We try to understand our partner's way of life by visiting with with their parents and looking at past photos. That's about, they got that out there times 2. That's about as far as we like to go when we're trying to justify why I married this girl from Ethiopia. You know, you can't even spell Ethiopia, but you married this girl from Ethiopia, and the first thing you want her to be is somebody from Cleveland. And you know, so you're looking at all the traits and all the things that happen in Cleveland and trying to juxtapose all this on this girl from Ethiopia. So you go over to her Ethiopian parents' house, and they give you Ethiopian food. You ain't never tasted Ethiopian food. So you trying to gobble that down real quick so that you can go to the bathroom. Or you're looking at a bunch of photos and stuff from Ethiopia, and you're like, I don't even know where it is on the map. You know? So you don't understand this girl. Because you can't get a full feeling of this person unless you're going to make a commitment to the love prospect of it. You got to love that girl for who she is, not for where she comes from and what her belief systems are juxtaposed on by her parents, or by looking at a bunch of photos from her hometown. You know, if she's somebody that you love because she's somebody who likes to go to plays, she's somebody who likes to dance, she's somebody who likes to run and work out, or something of that nature, or somebody who likes to write, or just somebody who likes to sit on the couch and watch, you know, old reruns of Tarzan or Ethiopia. I don't know what you wanted, this woman, but you know, this excuse me, this is important to making a relationship work. Is knowing the person for the person, not for who they where they come from, what their parents are like, or any of those other things. Like, you got to know that person for the person. Now, number 5, people used to marry for logical reasons. Finance. This is what logical reasons used to be. Financial reasons. Oh, she's beautiful and her father owns that company that I work for. Oh yeah, will you marry me, honey? Yeah, that's one of the logical reasons. For land used to be in the women's hands back. Remember we talked about that on one of the first shows that we talked about how land was important back then in the medieval times, and the women were the ownership of the land, you know. And cattle, if you're burying somebody from Ethiopia and over that way, the cattle's in their name, so you should know about that. Yeah. So those are the logical reasons, the everyday things. We did everything but marry back then for love. And then all this has nothing to do with chivalry. We marry so we can have a big family of children so that they can take care of the farm. We were an agrarian society. But now, because of chivalry, trying to make a comeback, and I'm right here to try to help that along its way, you can actually go marry the lady of your choice, or the lady you may marry the man of your choice just simply because you love being with them. Ain't that something? Ain't that marvelous? That beats technology, that beats all those things. You fall in love with somebody and they're in love with you and you guys click and everything's good. And if you want to get married, go ahead. Don't worry about it. And because it just will be a good thing. Yeah. Yep. And by the rewarding, love gives you a rewarding feeling. Yeah? And that's important. Because people who marry for love, they're always going to feel good about themselves as long as they keep that love forefront in their marriage and stuff. Because that gives you a good feeling. But if you marry for those logical reasons, then you want to have self-grandizement. And you want everything just to be about you. You become a very shallow person. You might get rich if their daddy owns the company and he makes you one of the executive officers. But you won't be happy when you go home to his daughter that you didn't like in the first place. So that's not a good thing. But if you're married for love and everything gelled together, when you come home, it doesn't matter that you don't have the big fluffy couch that you can actually sit on and get lost in the TV that takes up the whole wall. You can come home and talk to your wife, talk to your husband. Ask how their day was doing. Put arms around them, get hugs, sit down and share a meal with them, just laughing and joking, talk to God with them. There's so many things you can do when you marry for love that it's not going to happen when you marry for logic. So we make the mistake simply because we're lonely. A lot of people make that mistake of getting married only because they're lonely. They don't put so much energy into trying to make themselves something better than what they are, or something more than what they ever want to be, or something that they want to live up to, that image that they're trying to project all the time on the world. And they become lonely because it's hard to find somebody who's going to always be patting you on the back about your fantasy. Because you're not going to do it to yourself. You're just working to create it and keep it going. So the more lonely you become, the more apt you are to go out there and marry somebody just to marry somebody. So, you lonely people out there, get out there, take off your cowboy hats, because you're not a cowboy like me. That's right. I'm the cowboy. You guys all are the lonely people. So get out there and interact with people so that you can have a good time. And I guarantee, this is a guarantee from ArchAngel, you will find somebody that you're going to love. But make sure that when you find that person, don't try to justify that love. Just accept it. Because if you try to justify it, you're going to muck it all up, and that's not a good thing. Just try to accept that love, and that'll be something that's really going to be nice for you. All right, that's a little stuff on why we don't choose the right people to marry. You know. Now we're going to change a little bit up here, and we're going to talk about mixed race relationships. That's right, people. Mixed race relationships. I hope everybody that's out there listening who got some internalized prejudices or something like that of people and everything, tune in. I'll wait a second. Are you in? All right. I gave you that along the way because this is a, you know. So how is being a chivalrous, righteous, loving, doing the right thing individual account for the rise in multi-ethnic relationships? Yeah? Simply because some of these reasons I told you about back in here, you know, you're going to love somebody and everything. You ain't loving that person because they wear red pants and they got brown skin or they got white skin or they got yellow skin. You're marrying that person because you love that person, you like that person. Makes no difference whether they're from Japan and you're from Italy. You know, like, hey, that's cool. That's cool. We can eat good. You know, we get pizza. We can get sushi. I mean, we can have a whole lot of different things in between that distance too. So this is how chivalrous actions come, because in chivalry you're always trying to do the right thing, and one of the right things is always trying to give that love without worrying about getting it back. You know, if you give it, it's coming back. That or you didn't choose wisely, and you just like that. Their way of giving love back doesn't sit with the way that you think love's supposed to be. You know, there's 1 in 10 households are now multi-ethnic. Actually, more than 1 in 10 households, and that number is rapidly growing. Yeah, and why is that? Because, you know, there's a lot of white people now. They're the majority of the race, so they say. They're marrying Asians and blacks and people from Arab countries and stuff. You know, that's what's happening. And because of that, those marriages, the children are multiracial children. Some might come out looking dark-skinned if you got a black and white relationship. Some might come out looking white if you got a black and white relationship. But the kids themselves, not only will their phenotype or their outward appearance come out to be something, the way they're raised is going to be something too. If you got to come from a family of African American and I'll say somebody from Armenia, you're going to have 2 different cultural type of ways of raising the child. So the culture is going to be raised in an atmosphere that's going to be appreciative of both those type of environments and stuff. So they're not going to be so stuck in trying to go and live a little focused, narrow type of existence that only can see one aspect of the world. You know, they're going to be seeing different kind of aspects of the world, simply because they'll be raised in 2 different cultural environments. So that's important when you think about mixed race children and stuff. And they're a fast growing group too. Because you got a mother and a father and they got a mixed race, you know, married. Maybe they'll have 5 kids. You know, that's 5 mixed race children. You know, that ain't the 1 and 2. Now we got up to 5. So that makes a whole lot of different races, all cultures, I should say, all coming together, you know, specifically for love. That's what they should be coming together for, because now the racial hatred of that individual kind of putting yourself in a box type of thing is definitely going away. And that, again, one of the things that make this happen is globalization. People move around this planet now much quicker than they did before. There's actually people to whom I say, you know, I feel like sushi. Why don't I just go to Tokyo for the weekend and get some sushi? You know, because I know this great restaurant in Tokyo where I can get some sushi and stuff. And there are actual people out there who do these things. It's like it sounds crazy and sounds kind of like it's from the theater and stuff, but there are people that they may not go that far, but I know plenty of people that go to the Bahamas on the weekend. You know, not every weekend, but I know lots of people who say, yeah, I'm going down to Bahamas. Actually, it's not all that expensive to get down there. You know, it's not that far away. You can jump on an airplane out of New York or Boston and stuff. You'd be down in the Bahamas in less than 2 hours. You know, it's really not all that hard to do. And I know lots of people who do that. So this globalization in the traveling really has opened up the world to a whole bunch of different cultures all coming together, you know. And with the mixed race children and stuff, they're not just coming together as novelty type of thing. They're coming together as, they might even be cousins. You know, you might have some Icelandic person who married somebody from Kenya. You know, or some Irish person who married somebody from Kenya who kind of be called the president of the United States. Mm-hmm. You know, and he going over to Bali so he can hang out with the relatives of the second marriage to his mother. It's like, this is how the world, he's the president. This is how the world is, you know. So his kids are mixed racial kids when it comes down to it. Yeah. So this is a really important thing. And then there's the people who are actually doing a lot of this interracial marriages are coming from a lower social economic class. So they're not traveling as far as everybody else, but they're not feeling the real bite of racial prejudice and stuff that everybody, you would think happens because of the way the news puts out all this kind of negative news nowadays, because they live in racial harmony in their household. They might walk outside and want to put on their front and want to base it on their phenotype, but inside their household, you know, you're looking at your kid and your kid's looking back at you, and the kid looks like you, but it doesn't have the same color as you because you're in an interracial marriage. What are you going to throw the kid out? You know, nah, you're going to love the kid. And the kid's going to look at you as mommy and daddy. Or whatever they have nowadays. But they got a lot of things out there for mommy and daddy now. It gets a little confusing at times. But the low socioeconomic class, they do a lot of interracial marriage. You know? And most of this takes place, here we go, you ready for this? Because white women find darker skinned men attractive. That's what it's all about. They find them attractive physically and they find them attractive emotionally. And they have no reservations about showing their emotions today. You know? This is the new way of world because it's so generalized now. You see it everywhere you go. It's not a novelty. I was hiking with my lovely, beautiful bride, and we were hiking in Vermont over the weekend, and I saw maybe 3 other mixed race couples and stuff, black men with white women with black women with white men, right there hiking on the same terrible terrain that I was hiking on. Yeah, they're in much better shape than I was. You know, they're much younger than I was. These were people, they were like kids, like 25 years old and stuff. I don't know if they were together or if they were just college student friends that were just out there challenging this hike and stuff. But it wasn't like, nobody thought twice about me and my wife, you know, because she's white and I'm not. I'm more brown, very beautiful. Like my hat, you know, I got a color that everybody wants, you know, I got lucky in that regard. Yeah, so, you know, so that's a good thing. But this doesn't eliminate racism. Racism is still out there, don't let me get you wrong now. It's still out there, but a lot of racism is being perpetrated by white men and black women. A lot, they want to hold on to this identity, or for whatever reason, I don't know. And they only do it when they get around in a crowd that's going to accept that type of narrative that they're going to spin, the stories that they want to tell, or the dialogue that they have. And those are the two that really keep this thing going a little bit, you know. And that's going to change, actually. That's going to change, you know, because nobody's going to be listening soon. It's like you come home from your hard day at work and stuff, and your little kid says to you, "Hey, Dad, how come, you know, everybody don't like everybody? You know, what's wrong with that?" You know? And you're looking at him, and he's looking like the wife who was Irish, you know? And you're not, so you don't know what to say in those regards. But we do know what to say now. We just tell him, yeah, it's all right. And God's making a comeback, so don't worry. He's going to take care of this racism too. But it might take a minute. So all you people with racial hatred in your heart, hang in there. You still have a spot in this society and stuff. You can still have that racial in there. And all you people want to self-victimize yourself and just be you know, everything and justify all the hatred and stuff. Hang in there. It's going to last a little longer, and then it's going to be gone. You'll have to make a change, or you'll just be lonely, talking to yourselves, you know. And that's where chivalry comes into it. Because if you're a chivalrous individual and you're out there helping people and you're just doing it, and that takes, like we said last week, that takes courage, you know, to put aside all those little things that's just some people or some society type of thing wants to throw on you, that the news media wants to keep going and say, this really doesn't happen. And to stand up in the crowd as even that one individual and say, nah, I ain't got time for this here, you know. I don't care, period. Because it's so commonplace. I see white people all the time. It's like in that movie with Sixth Sense. I see dead people everywhere. I see white people all over the place. I see black people, Asian people. I see a whole lot of Middle Eastern people. I see them all. I spot some in the gym, you know. I help them. They help me. I talk to them. We have a good time. Yeah, everything's good. But that's a little bit about the mixed racial type of thing. And this is what's changing the face of the world today, is that mixed race loving, you know. So racism doesn't scare people anymore, you know. It doesn't scare anybody. It doesn't scare the black guy who has a white wife. It doesn't scare the white woman who has you know, the black wife, or the black woman who has a white husband. It doesn't scare anybody. Or the Asian who has a different nationality. It's not scary anymore. They don't feel that old-fashioned racism that people used to, or why they looking at me type of thing like that. Are they going to say something about me? It's gone now. They don't care. You know, they really don't care. At least that's what I think anyway. They're more into love and just love for itself. Yeah, and that's eventually going to win out. Yeah. Now I'm going to play a little song for you while I have now how do I do this? I better. Okay, wait. Don't tell me. I gotta hit this button right there. No, mic off.